a North Carolina-Kentucky final. We can't remember any time that those two have faced each other in that Final Four.
Brown inside.
Let's assume you're dribbling down the court, the defender locked in, thinking they've got you figured out. Then, bam, you hit them with a move so deceptive, so filthy, they're left reaching for air while you glide past like nothing. That, my friend, is the Shammgod. A move so iconic that even the NBA's greatest ball handlers like Kyrie Irving, Chris Paul, and Stephen Curry have all paid homage to the man behind it. But who is Shammgod? And how did he create a legendary move that still breaks ankles decades later? Let's dive into the story of Shammgod, the man behind the most famous NBA crossover, starting with his personal story. Before we talk about the move, we gotta talk about the man behind it, God Shammgod. Yes, that's his real name, and no, I'm not making it up. Born and raised in New York City, Shammgod was a streetball legend. If you know anything about NYC hoops, you know that's the ultimate proving ground for ball handlers. We're talking about the same city that gave us Kyrie Irving, Kimber Walker, and Stephen Marbury. But even among them, Shammgod's handle was different. Shammgod played college ball at Providence College, leading them to the Elite Eight in the 1997 NCAA tournament. That run put him on the map, and he eventually got drafted by the Washington Wizards. But his NBA career didn't last long, just 20 games before he took his talents overseas. Even though his NBA stint was short-lived, Shammgod's impact on the game was far from over. He became a legend in the international leagues, playing in China, Poland, and Saudi Arabia. Overseas, he continued to dazzle with his ball-handling wizardry, earning the respect of basketball fans worldwide. So the real question is, how does a guy who barely played in the NBA end up with one of the most iconic moves in basketball history? Well, let's talk about the move.
A North Carolina-Kentucky final. We can't remember any time that those two have faced each other in that Final Four.
Brown and
You see, the Shammgod move, yeah, it's simple. In the same way a magician pulling a rabbit out of a hat is simple. But as simple as it looks, not everyone can pull it off. It goes like this. You push the ball forward like you're handing it over as a gift. The defender reaches, like, yeah, thank you very much. But before they can touch it, you yank it back with the other hand. And now they're lunging at the air, looking like someone just stole their Wi-Fi signal. It's a beautiful illusion. I mean, 1 second they swear the ball's theirs, and the next second they're spinning like a fidget toy on a caffeine rush. Most folks got the first taste of this wizardry in the 1997 NCAA tournament, the Providence vs. Arizona match. Shammgod whipped it out mid-game, and the crowd absolutely lost their minds. And I'm sure Twitter would have exploded if it existed back then. What's even crazier is that Shammgod himself claims that this deadly move was accidentally created while playing in Harlem. He used to practice pushing the ball forward and then pulling it back to avoid defenders stealing it from him. Little did he know that this simple adjustment in his game would become one of the deadliest crossovers ever to hit the hardwood. Every NBA player always has someone who they look up to, and Shammgod is not an exception. In fact, Shammgod always mentions how much he admired New York's legendary playground ballers. He watched guys like Pee Wee Kirkland and Earl the Gold Manigault taking inspiration from their flashy but effective dribbling styles. He didn't just mimic their moves though, he added his own twist, using both hands with such elite control that defenders were never quite sure where he was going next. The unpredictability of his game made him nearly impossible to defend, leaving defenders guessing wrong every time. While most defenders were out there trying to survive the move, some players watched it and said, nah, I need that in my bag. So he took the Shammgod and ran with it. Let's talk about the legends who saw the sauce and added their own spice.
In the steal. Oh, don't do that. That's not fair.
My goodness.
Oh, that is not fair.
Oh my goodness.
The Shammgod wasn't just some flashy streetball trick. It was so iconic that it became a legit weapon in the NBA. One of the first NBA players to truly adopt the move was Kobe Bryant. Yep, the Black Mamba himself. You see, it's interesting that Kobe actually trained with Shammgod back in the day and loved the move so much that he added it to his bag. After that, the floodgates opened. Allen Iverson, Chris Paul, Kyrie Irving, and Russell Westbrook started using the Shammgod. Each of them added their own little flair to it. An interesting one was when Kyrie used it on Brandon Knight, making him look like he was searching for his ankles on the floor. But here's where it gets even crazier. The move was legendary, but even the man himself was more legendary. I mean, most players fade into obscurity after a short NBA career, but this man flipped the script and leveled up after the league. After he left the court, his next chapter was equally legendary. When Shammgod's NBA run wrapped up after just 20 games, most folks figured that was it. A cool name, a flashy move, and a forgotten footnote in the league's long history. But nah, this story had a second half, and it was global. From China to Poland to Saudi Arabia, Shammgod became an international problem. Defenders overseas were introduced to the same nightmare that the New York playground had already warned them about. And while the jerseys changed, one thing didn't. He kept sending dudes into existential spirals. But the real plot twist is when he stopped playing the game and started teaching it. And in his role, he started walking with guys like Luka Doncic, Jalen Brunson, and even young stars coming into the NBA. His handle was so respected that the Dallas Mavericks brought him on staff to help players tighten their dribble and footwork. Luka, the man himself, said Shammgod's training made his control even nastier, as if Luka needed more sauce. So yeah, Shammgod went from cooking defenders to cooking up greatness in others. That's not just legacy, it's a generational impact. Now, you see, some players are remembered for stats, some for rings, but Shammgod, he carved out a legacy with nothing but a basketball and the nastiest handle the game has ever seen. Because sometimes, one move is all it takes to live forever. So, to answer the question, who is God Shammgod? He's the man behind one of the most iconic crossovers in basketball history. It's a move so slick and disrespectful that some of the greatest NBA players ever added it to their arsenal. And the best part is that you don't have to be in the league to pull it off. You just need confidence, creativity, and a mean pair of handles. Now, I want to hear from you. Which NBA player does it best? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And while you're at it, go ahead and like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next breakdown. And let's be real, after everything we just saw, we can all agree the Shammgod move is cold. You're gonna love the coldest Austin Reeves moment that had the entire internet shook. Yep, we've got that covered as well.